Think I go down to Venice Beach, bury my head down in the sand.
Due process. I mean, I'm a newcomer, and I'm just now coming to Venice, and I don't know anything. I'm just setting up. How do I know to go to Parks and Recreation?
How do you know not to murder somebody?
Well, that's not even fair.
There's no due process.
Yeah, there is. Wait, there is due process. That's why my case is in the Ninth Circuit, because there is due process. In America,
well, because you filed a lawsuit.
Right.
Walking around the street, due process does not apply to you.
Because there is really.
You have a responsibility to know the laws in the community of where you live.
If I come from Arizona, I don't know what California laws is.
It's your responsibility to understand.
No, I didn't see it.
And let's get back on topic.
And
you have another question, please ask the question. Otherwise, we have folks that have their hand up. Let's go here and then over there. I think you said you were ready to answer questions, all right?
I answered the question about the parking.
I have a question. I don't know if it's for LAPD or actually for you, but at the last meeting, you said something about there was going to be an internal review, and you actually gave me the list of the 10 people that were on the committee.
Yep.
Has that review been completed?
Nope.
When do you expect it to be complete?
Don't have one.
Okay. And the other thing that I just want to comment also, I'm just going to flat out say this. I think Mark Brown is wrong about some of the interpretation on that preliminary injunction. My interpretation is much different. I'm probably going to go to a couple of people that I know that actually are attorneys with it.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to get something for everybody in a peacekeeper project, and quite frankly, commercial vending is defined by case law, and anytime you try and put the term commercial vending into anything, I mean, that's just something you want to avoid when you're drafting anything. You want to go into different ways of what you can do, as opposed to using the term no commercial vending. Okay, because that's just asking for all kinds of attacks on its constitutional liability. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've got a comment. First of all, when the city brought out this ordinance, there was a big, very convoluted sign with all the rules down it, posted all the way down the beach, and that was a requirement. Then the preliminary injunction issued, which knocked out some of those things. So the city has taken down the whole sign. Now, it's a very valid point, because, see, we're not all attorneys on the beach. 99% of them are not attorneys. So when a complicated federal injunction comes out and lands on the city attorney's desk, how do you and how do all of you expect all these people who may not even have a high school education to suddenly know what the law, what that federal injunction really means? It's the responsibility of the city attorney to do some outreach and not just tell the police. See, that's what they did. They told the police, oh, don't enforce this, don't enforce that, don't enforce that, cross them off, but enforce all the rest. But for people who are on the street, the city's got an obligation to make a new sign and tell the people what exactly that injunction means. Just because I might know.
I believe they are, aren't they?
No.
They've done nothing. And that's the biggest problem here. Start doing something with that.
Signs.
I'm tired of suing you and just winning it, man. It's making it worse, and it's getting worse. I didn't want to knock out the permits in the lottery. And I came to them to settle, and I only wanted a couple more amplified spaces and get rid of a couple of things. And the judge knocked out the whole thing.
Okay.
So that's the price they paid for not settling. We're not mean people.
And maybe
We
the price
came.
you pay is not having a sign for a while, and people having a reasonable expectation to take the responsibility of their actions on
Okay,
themselves.
but it's a very complicated
I'm not
ordinance.
arguing
It's 6
that
pages,
it's
so
not
It's
complicated.
impossible for
Just
people to
understand for people to
know.
live
Carol,
and
the
exist.
signs
The
that we're
city
taking
needs to
down,
put out outreach.
the signs that we're taking down.
You, but don't turn on me. My problem's with
Arturo, the
city
sign,
law.
you're well aware that the ordinance is, I think, 9 or 10 pages long, right? A whole bunch of rules in it. Those signs didn't have all the rules.
Right.
So to say that, you know, the signs gave everyone all the rules and that's what the expectations of the vendors is probably not accurate. Because not all the rules around those signs to begin
I would
with.
say that
Which
trying
is
to at least
so.
give them some kind of direction. to-
Well, I gave him maybe 5 sections of maybe
Black and
30 or
white.
so.
They either had
So,
everything or it
yeah.
Which is why, again, the sergeant highlighted that for folks that have any questions, they can still go to the Rec and Park office and get the program rules. The program
Which
rules.
conflict with the ordinance.
Right.
They conflict with the ordinance.
But again, that's your opinion relay. We are working on.
Are you determining Mark Brown's opinion?
No, I'm saying that's her
No,
opinion.
no, but she said that the rules
And that's
conflict with
absolutely correct.
If the rules
We're talking about
conflict-
the
I'm
program
absolutely
rules.
100% sure that I'm right about that.
There are the program rules that clarify what can be done under the permit system. That's what it's talking about. That's what we're talking about here. And that's absolutely why I don't have a timeline for you in reference to when are we going to come up with some changes. We know something needs to happen, but we don't
Rules
have
and
a
the
timeline when
ordinance
this can
conflict,
happen.
which is part of the
Okay, well, look,
problem.
I have one more comment on this, because this is going
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah,
And let me tell you this, okay? The mayor of Los Angeles just wrote a letter to the city council, okay? Telling them that they have to approve today selling all the city's parking buildings so they can recover the $150 million debt on the parking structures and another $50 million so they can put in the budget this year to balance this year. Next year, there's another $350 million shortfall. And guess who's losing in the budget? LAPD. The mayor just announced, yes, the next class of recruits from the police academy canceled. And I've been warning the police, stop harassing us and work with us, and you might start not stop losing
Matt, this is a
police.
boardwalk task force meeting. Like he said, let's stick to the Venice Beach boardwalk.
Police.
He asked about the city budget and about.
We're done with you, and I'm gonna ask you to leave in a minute
Well, but
because
this is
You're
not
not
your meeting.
asking me to
This is
leave
a
a public meeting.
to talk about other things, not just.
it's a public meeting for the Venice Beach boardwalk. If you have a question about the boardwalk, anybody else have a question about the
I do.
boardwalk?
Yeah, you already have the money though. You got all the money. This is it. This is it.
I resent
People
have
Yeah, you go.
monopolized the exchange area very much. This is supposed to be a forum for all of us. And while they raise really interesting questions, they're
Just sit down there.
Don't order me around.
You're driving us nuts.
What I,
Good, you're driving me nuts over 5 years
It's
with
a
this
Prozac.
fucking bullshit. I'm gonna go get
Prozac.
a coffee if you don't mind.
Go ahead, don't make a mess.
You had a question about the boardwalk for the police.
Hey, Arturo, can you conduct the meeting? We're not in charge, you're just a guest here. If I'm not on this,
Michael, I'm gonna ask you to leave.
you can ask me to leave, but when I leave, but
Question for
you're
the
a guest of the
police
meeting,
about
this is
the
Arturo's meeting.
It is my meeting also. It's for the Venice Beach boardwalk for the community and the residents. If you have a question regarding that, you will be next. Otherwise, go ahead and continue.
my question is, were you given, and can you tell us what they were you given explicit directions on how to enforce the rules now that the permit lottery system and the amplified sound?
No,
has been
we had
lifted,
a
or-
meeting with a few city attorneys and some that advised us, and we were told by them which sections are no longer enforceable.
Okay.
So let's say there was 10 sections that were enforceable as a ticket, let's say. They said, okay, out of the 10, you can't do these 3 or 4, but the rest are still on the books.
And is there a way we can find out what those 3 or 4 are? Is this public knowledge or?
Well, it's in their ruling from the
Yeah.
judge, and if you read it, then you just kind of put it against the ordinance, the way it
Yeah.
reads with permitted lottery systems, and they have to
Okay,
fight
now my
something.
experience has been there's been a lot of interpretation on that, so it's always an area of confusion for me.
Sure.
And then, there's something else that doesn't involve the boardwalk directly that I'd like to talk to you about after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
What about the 21 extra police officers? Are we,
Not doing it right, we're still not doing it right.
just wondering if
I'm
they're-
sorry, we were really interrupting. What?
Oh, the extra 21 police officers, are they going to stay?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Permanently?
Is-
Permanently?
Indefinitely.
Great, thank you.
Are there any plans to have the police start a shift that would include 9 o'clock?
Well, Sergeant Reina can probably better answer that, but we address the needs of officers based on certain statistics and stuff, and he will assign an officer that he sees fit to what time.
I know the ones that patrol in the morning, they always say, well, we want to send you to the SUV people, you know, the police in the SUVs.
The officers do have certain hours that they work, but they also are assigned to,
whole
individual
area.
issues as they arise up. Anybody else?
I have a follow-up question. The 21 police officers, I was just told that 17 have been added to the police force. Is this over that 21 here in Venice, or is this, are you talking about the same 21?
Well, the overall number for the division, I'm not sure. It's very complicated the way that happens. But as far as the officers assigned to the beach detail and the task force for working in Venice, that only dropped by 2. So,
Wait, now there were 21 that came over the summer.
yeah.
And then they're not leaving, is that right?
Well,
I'm just
it's
trying to-
kind of hard to explain, but a lot went back to the divisions, but other divisions had their own bodies in, and some people came in on the transfer, so it's kind of complicated. So overall, the number in Pacific area, I'm not sure if we were up or down in the total number of police officers, which is like 200-300. But as far as the task force officers and the beach detail officers, that one dropped by 2.
So that's not, it's actually 19 and not 21, is that what you're saying? Or do I still don't have it right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in a sense you could say 19, but the task force is still around 42 officers.
Okay.